Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A downriver mother was 8 months pregnant when she tested positive for coronavirus. Then 18 days after giving birth to a healthy baby boy, she died without ever holding him. Tonight, our family opens up about her final days.
We'll begin with the Texas Attorney General suing Michigan and other swing states at the Supreme Court, asking the highest court in the land to nullify or disregard the state's electoral votes as cast. The Texas Attorney General is naming Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in addition to Michigan in this suit for key swing states that put Joe Biden over the 270 electoral vote mark.
The filing has false claims about the absentee process here in Michigan. Attorney General Dana Nessel has a brief due on this case on Thursday. Mara McDonald is live tonight. Mara, the likelihood of the Supreme Court actually hearing this case appears to be slim.
Well, Kimberly, as one legal expert put it to me, it's like this. Not only is this a Hail Mary of a legal maneuver, it's a Hail Mary across 4 football fields. Texas AG Ken Paxton filing his brief today asking the Supreme Court to hear his case. At its heart, the brief claims Michigan and the others altered election laws and flooded the state with ballots with no chain of custody. That's false. Michigan voters in 2018 approved no reason absentee voting. What Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson did in 2020 was send out applications to vote absentee, not ballots themselves, unless the voter completed the process to vote absentee.
Let's see whether or not somebody has the courage, whether it's a legislator or legislatures, or whether it's a justice of the Supreme Court or a number of justices of the Supreme Court. Let's see if they have the courage to do what everybody in this country knows is right.
The president's legal team has not seen any success here in Michigan so far. And today, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear a Pennsylvania case that wanted to reverse that state's vote certification. Michigan AG Dana Nessel, along with AGs from Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, sent out a joint statement about this latest filing, which in part reads, "These insignificant attempts to disregard the will of the people in our 3 states mislead the public and tear at the fabric of the Constitution." Back here live, I expect we are going to hear out of AG Dana Nessel tomorrow. After all, that brief in this case is due on Thursday. We are live in Canton tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Mara. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is ordering all U.S. and Michigan flags to be lowered to half-staff for the next 10 days to honor the 10,000 Michiganders killed by the coronavirus.
Today, the state reported more than 5,900 new cases with 191 more lives lost. In the last 7 days, the nation saw its deadliest week of the pandemic since April, with more than 15,000 lives lost to the virus. Other headlines: the Michigan House has canceled voting sessions that were scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday after a staffer tested positive for the virus. House Speaker Lee Chatfield says the positive test had nothing to do with last week's election hearing involving Rudolph Giuliani, who is now hospitalized with COVID.
With the FDA expected to give approval to the first coronavirus vaccines later this week, today President Trump and President-elect Joe Biden held separate health care events at the same time. President Trump signed an executive order to ensure Americans would be prioritized for vaccines during an Operation Warp Speed summit in the White House. Meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden unveiled his priorities to tackle the COVID crisis.
Masking, vaccinations, opening schools. These are the 3 key goals for my first 100 days.
Nobody thought it was even remotely possible to do what we've done in a period of less than 9 months.
Meanwhile, in the UK, patients there started receiving the Pfizer vaccine at 70 hospitals and medical centers. The first shots are going to people 80 and over, along with nursing home workers and vaccination staff. The UK received enough doses to vaccinate 400,000 people.
An Ecorse family is mourning a terrible loss. A 33-year-old wife and mother of 2 died last Thursday from COVID-19. In fact, she delivered her second child early on November 15th because of the virus. Jason Colthorpe live at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. And Jason, apparently there weren't really any underlying conditions here, right?
None, Devin. she was pregnant, and that was it, according to her family. Erica Becerra met her husband 2 years ago. She's from Los Angeles. He's from here in Metro Detroit. They had their daughter right after, and they were about to have a son, and that's when her symptoms began.
She's gonna leave a big void.
Miguel Aviles can feel his sister Erica's presence around him and his entire family.
For us, you know, her name means joy because she brought joy to everybody. No matter who you were, stranger, family member, she would just bring joy to you.
Congratulations!
Erica Becerra was just 4 weeks from the birth of her second child when she started feeling symptoms of COVID-19. At Henry Ford, Detroit, they made the call to induce, and on November 15th, a healthy baby boy, Diego Antonio, was born. Erica, though, was getting worse. But before she went on the ventilator and Diego was taken away, she was able to share a fleeting, precious moment with her newborn son.
She was able to hold him for a little bit, and that she was able to speak to him. And after that, you know, she just started declining.
Erica's condition worsened, and on December 3rd, at the age of 33, with no underlying conditions beyond pregnancy, she died of COVID-19. While Miguel and the rest of her family from California mourn her loss and celebrate her spirit, they also acknowledge the people that comforted her in her final hours.
If you see a nurse or you see a doctor, thank them, because they're doing all they can. You see the strain in, you know, their faces. It's very heartbreaking, you know?
They originally thought that her baby was taken away from her, and she was immediately put on the ventilator, and she was unable to hold her son. But a nurse from Henry Ford reached out and called them after she saw that this was making news and let them know she did, in fact, hold her son, at least for a few moments before he was taken, and she was immediately put on the ventilator. By the way, the family set up a GoFundMe account for her 2 children to raise money for them. They set a goal of $10,000. It's already raised $80,000, and we've put a link to it with this story at clickondetroit.com. Or in Detroit tonight, Jason Coulthard, Local 4.
Just crushing, Jason, really is. All right.
Police are investigating a deadly fire on Detroit's west side as a homicide tonight. This happened at a home near West Warren and the Southfield Freeway. Police say a 20-year-old woman was killed after she was shot, and the home was set on fire with her and her young boy inside. We're told the boy was taken to the hospital and is in critical condition.
It's one thing to have adults have issues, but you have a young child that's also in that home. So to think that someone could possibly have set this fire is extremely troubling for me.
Police say the boy suffered severe burns. Detroit police are now looking for who did this.
Mayor Duggan announcing today the city's moratorium on water shutoffs is going to be extended through 2022, with the city also working to develop a plan to permanently stop the water shutoffs.
Here's what we found. The average water bill of those who had it turned off a lot of times was running double the typical Detroiter's water bill because they had a running toilet, they had leaky pipes. The same people who are having the most trouble paying the monthly bill don't have $1,500 to fix the pipes in their houses. And so the governor came up with $6 million to let us get at the root cause, get into the house, and now the Gary Brown's team has been in and has either repaired or is in the process of repairing the pipes in 700 houses in the city.
City says service has been restored to 1,300 homes since March 9th.
Updating a hit-and-run crash we first told you about last night. Oakland County deputies say a man is now in custody. Deputies say they got a call leading them to a trailer where the car they were looking for was being loaded onto. That's where a sergeant saw the suspected driver and arrested him after a short foot chase. Deputies say he's a 31-year-old from Pontiac. The crash happened last night near Perry and Montcalm. A 29-year-old Pontiac woman was hit. She's hospitalized in critical condition.
A holiday tradition here in downtown Detroit. Tomorrow, the rink at Campus Martius will be reopening.
But due to COVID restrictions, all skaters and reservations are also required. The rink will be open 7 days a week, including the holidays. Well, it has been the biggest rivalry in sports for more than 100 years, but this week's Michigan-Ohio State matchup is officially canceled.
Ahead in sports tonight, Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel addressing the decision to cancel the game. Let's check in with Ben.
Devin and Kim, 40s tomorrow, 50s by the end of the weekend, then rain and snow, and we're going to cram it all in 5 days. We'll show you all the details.
These outdoor gyms seem to be popping up all over the place, and now one local health insurance company says if you've got the space, they've got the cash.
We have about $600,000 set aside.
If you want one of these in your community, we'll tell you who's giving the money away coming up.